pray into today's event. May it be helpful, may it be successful, and may it be impactful to all of us seated here. This and many more we ask. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. All right, so my name is nothing called Dasivera, but when I'm on stage and I have a mic, you can call me Kofi Da Silva. What's my name? I pray you never forget. I'll be doing this alongside
Kelvin Delali. Kelvin Delali.
What's his name? Hey, Mwediamo. All right, so Kelvin, take us through.
All right. So the reason why we are gathered here, it's simple. Because of literacy, entrepreneurial skills, and empowerment. So we have our own honorable in our midst, Rejoice Aflu, Honorable Rejoice Aflu, who is going to tell us the reason and the purpose why we are gathered here. With a resonating round of applause, let's welcome Honorable Rejoice.
Thank you. Good afternoon to you all. I want to say a big thank you for coming and honoring my invitation, and apologies for the delay. And today we are here to learn. Today we are here to network. Today we are here to make friends that our children will call connection. So stick and say we have very good resource persons in our midst. They are here to teach us, to impact us. Make sure you go home with something. If not anything, you have to know how to be a student entrepreneur, and you have to know how to work well with finance before you leave here today. That's why we are here. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you very much, Honorable. At least be a student entrepreneur, learn to be a student entrepreneur, and have a knowledge about finance. That's the basic reason why we are here. So, Mr. Kofi Da Silva will take it from here.
Okay, it's time for me to introduce our distinguished guest. The reason why we are all here is to hear from them. First, I'd like to introduce the head of commercial and new markets at Haptel, Mr. Eric Gershon Akoto. We also have Mr. Victor. I just want to get this right. Ahinan. I knew I'll get it wrong. Ahinasi. Aha, okay. Mr. Victor Ahinasi, co-founder, We Connect Consult. We also have Dr. Jones Jenfi. As for Dr. Jones's, if I decide to read everything under Dr. Jones's name, we won't live here. So, project coordinator, Ghana by Enterprise Innovation Partnership. Good. We also have representing Mr. Franklin Karikari in the person of Mr. Godwin Mauto, who is with NEIP, the Tony Elumelu Foundation, and also studentproject.com. Distinguished guests, you are welcome. We are supposed to have Honorable Ablakwa joining us. He just landed in Accra, so hopefully he'll be joining us. We will take a short message from Tracy. Was supposed to be here, founder of Brave, but today also happens to be the funeral of Sarkodie's lawyer. So she is engaged at the moment. But she took time to record a beautiful video for us. I have a feeling this video will not have audio. Is my feeling correct? There's a pastor behind me. Okay. So I'll take exactly what she's saying. Good morning, distinguished guests, dynamic youth. You are welcome to today's program, organized by Rethink in partnership with Brave. Today, you are all gathered here to learn and gain the necessary impact from our panel of guests here. Unfortunately, I will not be with you, but my presence will definitely be felt. It is my plea that each and every one present here will pay attention to what is being said, as it will be the fuel to impact your life moving forward. Ladies and gentlemen, students gathered, I pray that by the end of today, you have the necessary impact, and then you will go home as a changed person. I'm hoping that this ushers you into the new phase of life. Thank you and have a good day.
Can I give you a round of applause?
Please, because of technology, you can be clapping for people who are not around. So please clap for Tracy. Nice. Okay, so it's time for us to get down to business. We would like to invite the co-founder of We Connect Consult, Mr. Victor Ahinasi. Please give him a round of applause.
Thank you so much. All right, I'm very much honored, and I deem it a very great privilege to be here with you this afternoon. I wouldn't take much of your time. Already the time has, it's been far spent. I want to share quickly some few things with you. I initially thought I was coming to talk about entrepreneurship, about my company, where we started from, where we are today, and the projection ahead. And I was given this other topic also to talk about. So I'm gonna talk about two things. First, about how to create a very effective CV, and then secondly, I'm gonna talk about some of the opportunities that we do have at We Connect Consult. So those that would like to write, you can kindly write alongside, and if there is any question, you can humbly ask, and then we will deliberate together. So I was sharing with Doc that when I was giving this particular topic, it was kind of funny to me because the truth be told, CV is something that is very important, but many a times we send out our CVs to numerous companies, and then the result isn't, positive. And as a result, a lot of people become frustrated. Reason being that they have sent numerous CVs out there to several companies, and at the end of it all, there is really nothing to write home about. So what really makes the difference? And I was sharing with Doug just when we met that I've never, truth be told, never been a fan of CVs, because in the way the world is unfolding, if you really want to get a job, it's kind of, you need some sort of aggression. You need something more than just sitting behind your desk and then writing a CV, even though it is very, very important. Now, I want you to understand one thing, that when you talk about CVs in the business world, this actually is your marketing tool, your number one marketing tool. This is what actually markets yourself. It tells employers who you are, what you are made up of, what you can do, and the value you can bring to a particular company if you are bring on board. So your CVs are very, very important. But before I go on, I would like to just ask, how many of us here have really gotten a job by virtue of our CV that we sent out there? Anyone here? Maybe it could be an attachment, it could be an internship. Is there anyone here like that? All right. Did you know someone there or you didn't know anyone there? It was just your CV that landed you the job. That's very good. This shows the very importance of CVs. Now, it is very, very expedient that you take your time when it comes to the CV creation. I would like to share some few things with you what CV is and some of the nitty gritties that sometimes we do forget when preparing our CVs. Uh, as you may all know, it is the curriculum vitae, and it, like I said from the beginning, it is the number one tool of marketing yourself in the business world. Now, it shows your qualities and it persuades employers to invite you for an interview. I quite remember a statement that I heard when I was in the university years back that the way you dress or your appearance is going to tell how you are addressed. Hallelujah. Sorry, I said hallelujah. Okay. So, wow. Let me come back. So, your CV is actually the stumbling block, or more or less like the key that is going to open the door for you to be addressed in front of your employers. Now, when you look here, many a times we interchange CVs with resumes. CVs are popularly recognized in the northern part of America, the Canadian, and all that. But when you're talking about the resume, this is where it is more aligned to the European system. So the UK's and the rest. Now, in our part of the world, we somewhat adapt both. So depending on the company that you are applying to, some of them do recognize the CV method, others also recognize the resume system. But I would like to just take you through both so that in case you find yourself applying to any company, depending on the origin of that. Okay, thank you. Depending on the company, you will know how to go about it. So as you can see over here, first of all, when you're talking about the CV, it shows that how long the CV takes. The content of it, you can include your life history, your job history, your skill, your if previously you were working, then you can talk about all your job prescriptions and your educational background. So if, for example, you are going to apply for a position for maybe the marketing manager, and previously you were working with a marketing agency, you have to talk about all your job, specifically what you were doing in your previous job, your responsibilities, and what have you. Now, in your CV also, you can see the purpose of this very CV. Why should the employer invite you over to want to know more about you and to want to discuss further so far as the job is concerned? Now, when you are talking about the resume system, it is quite summarized, and then it is comparing to what a CV really is. You can see the resume is quite short, and as we go on further, you will see the difference in that. Of course, the resume also will contain the purpose, why the employers or that particular company should invite you for an interview, and also it will definitely include your educational background, your job experiences if you have any, and it will also include your achievements, your goals, and what have you. We'll go on further, but let us look at this here. Sometimes it is very important that we know the do's and then the don'ts when it comes to your CV writing. Please always have it at the back of your mind that this CV or the resume that you are presenting to a company, it is actually what is going to allow the company to invite you over. So if your resume isn't that attractive or appealing enough, that is it. You won't even have the chance to go further for an interview, let alone landing yourself that particular job. So over here, I just took time to point out some do's and don'ts when it comes to writing a CV. First of all, you have to look at the font or the sizes that you are going to use. Most of the time, as we do see in our offices, you can have a CV in front of you, and one CV will have different font sizes. Trust me, this matters a lot, because the truth of the matter is that we are so busy in our offices, we don't really have much time to go through everything that you present to us. So what happens is that every HR can testify to this. When a CV is presented to his or her desk, won't even take the time to read everything. He will just skim through the CV. Now, what attracts will be your presentation, how you've presented the whole CV, in terms of the font, in terms of the sizes, in terms of the formats that you use to present your CV. If it is attractive enough, that alone, when the eye catches it, will give the opportunity to go further with that. Now, in your CV, you have to also be consistent in your layout when preparing your CV. Now, when it comes to, you have to also list your skills, list your achievements, and then back them up with evidence. This is so very important. When you take a CV like this, and then you see a lot of things that you want to do. For example, you have stated in your CV that you have 2 years of experience. But then in your 2 years of experience, you have not stated in your CV what you achieved in all these 2 years of experience. That alone is a turn off for every HR. Because if I have your CV and then I see that you have 2 years of experience, and in that 2 years you achieved specifically A, B, C, and D. For example, you were able to increase the revenue of a company from maybe 25% to 55% over a period of 6 months. And then you stated clearly how you were able to achieve that. That alone attracts every HR to want to know further and call you for an interview. It is very, very, very important. Now, one of the things that we can also do is that we have to be very positive in our CVs. We have to be honest, and we have to be very positive when we are writing our CVs. This cannot be overemphasized. The reason being that we've had a lot of people who who even pay money for others to write their CVs for them. And at the end of the day, you realize that you have a very interesting CV before you, but they are all full of lies. They are all full of lies. We have seen not once, not twice, multiple times, a CV is in front of us, and then they are full of lies. And one thing that we do is that, so for me, for one, anytime a CV comes on my desk, the first thing I do, I look at the person's name and I go and check the person's background. LinkedIn is there, especially on the social media platform. What kind of person are you? What do you have? All of these things, you will see all of them, especially your LinkedIn account. These sell you more than what you present to the companies. It's very, very important. So we have to be very honest in our CV writing, and then we have to be very, very positive. When I say positive, this is what I mean. A lot of people tend to, how do I put it? things that they can really fish out the positive aspect of it, they rather want to talk about the negative aspect of it and then leave out the positive aspect of it. In your CV, we don't need a negative aspect. If you were working with an organization and over a period of 2 years, your returns is zero, we don't need all of this information over there. We need the positive side of it, of that very situation, what happened, the positive aspect of these are, and I'm not saying you should try to be convincing enough. What I'm trying to say that you should try and fish out the positive of every situation that you find yourself and then write them precisely in your CV. And like I said, please do not lie in your CV. Be as honest as possible. um, Let me talk about the other point of the dues. Please and please again, I'll combine the last 2 points. Let someone check your CV and then be very careful when it comes to the grammar that you use in your CV and your spellings. These are very, very important. You have someone whose CV you can fish out a lot of grammatical errors. The spellings are wrong. That alone throw you off, and we wouldn't even wanna invite you over. I mean, which company would like to hire someone who in one sentence will have about 3 or 4 mistakes and spelling mistakes over there? Nobody will want to hire anybody like that. And in preparing your CV, if you are indeed doing it yourself, sometimes it could be oversight. Sometimes it could be typing mistakes. This is why, after you have done everything, just get somebody you can, confide in, a trusted friend, a brother, or anybody, just to have a look at it. Perhaps if there is an oversight of whatever is in your CV, that person can point it out for you. I took my time to just came out with some 5 C's when it comes to writing your CV. First of all, you have to be very clear in your CV writing. When I mean clear, every point that you want to make, please and please again, do not beat about the bush. Just go straight to the point and then make yourself very clear. Be very, very concise. Make sure that whatever that you are writing, you complete it. Do not start a statement and then you throw it overboard. Be very consistent and up to date. When I mention up to date, what I'm trying to say is that sometimes, especially when it comes to the educational part of your CV, people fail to attach dates to it. And so, if you have stated that in your educational background, for example, you went to school A, and then after school A you went to B, after B you went to C, we would like to know that the date allocated to each one of them. So if you went to A, when did you start, when did you complete, and all that. The people who lie usually find themselves fumbling in this very particular point, because you turn out that they will mix up a whole lot of things. The dates that they are going to mention that they started a school, for example, in the completion it can be different, and all of that. All right. Now, let us quickly look at some parts. There are so many parts when it comes to the CV writing, but let us look at some major parts that I want us to look at over here. Number one is your contact. In your CV writing, your contact is very, very important. As a matter of fact, this should be in such a way that it's going to be so visible and stand out from your CV. The reason is that most often than not, after an HR have gone through your CV, we would like to invite you over for an interview. And so with that, we would see all the information when it comes to how we can reach out to you. We will see it over there. And please again, be very, very sure to include some links, especially your LinkedIn link. This gives us the opportunity to really get to know who you are. And if you have a LinkedIn account that is not up to date, I will really encourage you that before you send out your CV out there, make sure you update it because it's very, very important. Like I mentioned earlier on, some of us, so far as we see your name, we just go to LinkedIn account, and what you do there, the kind of things you engage yourself in, the, maybe you are a person that is into article writing and all of this, and we'll see everything there, and that alone can land you an interview. Over here is also a very important part that you have to look at in your CV preparation. Your career objective and summary. This you have to talk about, first of all, your objectives. You talk about who you are. You talked about the targets that you do have, the goals that you do have, and how valuable you can be in that particular company that you are applying into. It is so, so, so important. Now, um, over here, do not make one generalized CV that will cut across every company that you want to apply into. This is one mistake that a lot of people do. If you want to apply for company A, it is very, very important for you to go to the company's website, at least read more about the company, know more about the position that you are applying for, and then try to structure your career objectives and summary to fit that particular company. This is so important. If you make a generalized summary and that you're gonna make one CV, you send it to several companies, that can also go a long way to affect you. So please and please again, over here, you have to pay attention to that. In listing out your education, over here, what I want to draw your attention to is that maybe you don't have any work experience, okay? If you don't have any work experience and then you are applying for a job, it is very important that you concentrate more on your educational part of the CV. List out exactly your educational background. Make sure that all the institutions that you have been to, you attach the date over there. If you have any position on campus, you can also put it there and state exactly the objectives and the things that you're able to do over there. If, for example, like I said, if you don't have any experience, job experience, then you can come up with your GPAs, you can come up with your relevant coursework, and then if you had any awards in school, you can also include it over here. Now, if you have any work experience, perhaps you did maybe an internship, you did maybe an attachment, what national service, whatever, and then you have some background experiences, then over here also you can lay much emphasis on and then go in depth with that. You can talk about the company that you work with, the position you held over there. What was your responsibilities over there? What did you do? What did you achieve? All of these things can be stated over here. The duration, how long you worked in that particular company, also can be stated over here. Another part in your CV, you can talk about your skills. Now, in your skills, we have your soft skills, and then you can talk about your soft skills, you can talk about your hard skills as well. Most often people mix all of these things, but it's very important you try and then you distinguish them in your CVs. Your hard skills, your soft skills, you hammer on exactly what you are capable of doing. As you can see, some of the hard skills over here, do you see it clearly? You can talk about the data analysis, you can talk about marketing, and a whole lot. Your soft skills, you can talk about uh, some of the things that you do, for example, your teamwork and how loyal you are, and all of these things. You can talk about that in your soft skill part. If you had the opportunity, for example, to speak multiple languages, that can also be a very positive thing in your CV. If you did any volunteering job, or if you were into any social clubs or whatever that you were volunteering to do any kind of job, you can also state it in your CV. Of course, you can include your hobbies, you can include your interests, and what have you. All of that you can include them in your CV. Some of the things to note is that, uh, like I mentioned earlier on, your CV has to be to a specific company. It has to. You have to make it more specific. Don't create one general CV and send it to multiple companies. It won't land you anything. It has to be very specific. Then you have to make sure to include relevant references. This is also very, very important. Some employers, when they look at your CV, how good you have prepared your CV, they really want to confirm and verify whether all the things you've stated in your CV are indeed true. And so, in your CV, the references that you put over there, they can call them, and then these references can testify of everything that is in your CV. So, that's also a very important thing for you to note. All right, so that brings me to the end of the CV, writing an effective CV. I hope you learned something. If there is any question, you can humbly ask, and then we will move on to the next part of the presentation.
All right. My hand is up here.
Yes, thank you.
All
My
right.
name is Hilary.
Your name is what?
Hilary.
Hillary.
Yes,
Okay.
yes. Please, what I know about the CV, I recently had just like that. Uh, excuse me.
Take your time. Take your time.
I recently had a meeting with someone and had a discussion just like this with the person, and the person basically said that you must not be boastful in your CV.
You must be what?
You must not be boastful. You must be not be boastful. You must not be putting out your items. The person was trying to teach us. We were a set of interns, and the person was teaching us. So, but you are trying to give us information about it being that you should put out your achievements there. So I'm getting a bit confused in because he states that you must not be boastful, and you state that you should put out your achievements there. So how are you putting it in?
All right. Hillary, right?
Yes.
Okay. When you say being boastful, what exactly are you talking about?
Well,
Talking about achievements, does it mean you are being boastful? Boastful?
Mhm. No, it doesn't mean you are being boastful in any way.
Okay.
But some people may feel that you are being boastful, because if I come out here right now and start stating that I had 4.0 GPA, uh, p-
Okay. All right. Okay. Let me come to that.
if
Now,
I come out here and start stating that right now, I think I'm being boastful, right?
okay. All right. Can I come?
Yes.
All right. So, if you are applying to a company, they don't know who you are.
Yes.
They've never seen you before. And like I said from the beginning, your CV is your point of marketing yourself.
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Now, how well can you market yourself? That's my question. If you see being confident as being boastful, then there is a question mark somewhere. There is two different things. If I state that my GPA is 4 point something and I see it as being confident in my achievement and you consider it as boastfulness, then there is a question mark somewhere.
No,
Are
I
you
don't
get-
think
are
I
you
don't
get-
think you are getting my question.
Okay.
What I am asking is, could you please explain what he is trying to put out there by being boastful? That is what I'm trying to say.
Well, this question should be asked to the one who mentioned being boastful rather than me. I can't explain what the person said. I wasn't there with you, right?
Yes.
Yes. So I can only explain to what I have presented to you. I don't see it that if you put in your GPA. Now, remember I told you that
Yeah.
if you don't have any work experience,
You state
none
your-
at all, right?
you s-
Then you
state
can
your-
concentrate on
on
your educational
educational-
part of your CV
Yes.
by stating some of your achievements and all of that.
Yes.
Now, I see it that when you write your GPAs and all of that, I don't see any boastfulness in this. You are marketing yourself. You are trying to get that particular company you are applying to, you are getting an interview with them to go there and present who you are to them and possibly land you a job in that particular company. I don't see it as boastfulness. I see it as being confident. If I'm making any sense to you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, another hand up. I think we take two questions, then we proceed with the session. There's an open forum. You can channel all other questions at that session.
Okay, thank you very much for this presentation. Please, I'm Vincent.
Vincent.
Atta. Yeah, I tried, I think, last 2 days to come up with a CV, and I was finding it very difficult. And I think your presentation is helping me a lot. Please, I have a question for you. Please, is there any preferred order for listing information on a CV?
Okay.
Thank
That's the
you.
question.
Thank you.
If I tell you yes, then I'm not being entirely true to you. If I tell you no, then I'm not being entirely honest with you. Right? As I mentioned earlier on, every company has what they prefer. If you are applying for any multinational company that has its origin from America and the northern part of America, then there is a particular line they prefer their CVs to come in. If you're applying for any company that has its origin from Europe, it also has its different line. You get it? Sometimes what we do advise is that you let your CV be in a hybrid format. When I say hybrid format, what I mean is not so much being strictly the formal, but you can also make it a bit stylish. Let me put it that way, right? A stylish form of CV is where I'm sure you might have come across it, where you have the person's picture there, and then on the side you see it's very, very colorful. You know, they do all of that. That's the stylish form. You can see on one simple page the person will have everything there. That's one style of it. The formal one will be where there wouldn't be any picture or whatsoever. You see the person's name boldly written, and then you find everything, in a very systematic order. If you can do it in a hybrid format where it will have both, depending on the company that you are applying to, then that can be very helpful. But if you think that you are applying to a company, I don't know, like an oil and gas company, right? Then I will rather advise that you make it very, very formal. If you're applying to a company like, I don't know, Any company that deals with, for example, design or something like that, right? Online design thing, company like that, a tech company, then maybe you can, adapt the hybrid type, and it can also go a long way to helping you. If I give you one particular thing to apply to every company, then I'm not being helpful to you. You understand? If you're applying to a medical facility, a medical hospital, you don't need the stylish type. You need a strictly formal thing. You understand? All right, thank you.
All right, so there was a hand here. So this will be the last one, and then we proceed.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
So my name is Stanley, and so I have a question. So
It
I've
looks
been
like
in-
my name is difficult to pronounce.
Stanley.
Come again?
Stanley.
Stanley.
Yeah.
Okay.
Stanley.
Stanley.
Yeah. T.
Okay.
Okay. So I've been in debates where we tend to argue about having personal information on CVs. So I wanted to ask: is it ideal to add certain, especially religion, date of birth, in CVs?
Okay, with my experience, I'll tell you when it comes to personal information like religion, don't include it.
Don't
Include in your CV.
age,
Your age, do not include it in your CV.
religion.
Don't. With my personal experience, I'll tell you
Can
don't.
you give a reason?
Yes. So, imagine my company, for instance, we have, as part of our protocol, we have morning devotions 3 times in a week, right? And then we are looking for a marketing manager, for example, and then you state that in your CV that you are a Muslim or you are an atheist. When we see your CV, even though we need your skill in our company, but the fact that as a company it is our protocol, because that is what built us up to this point. It is one of our protocols. Now, if we see this, then even though you are qualified, but we may not consider your application. You understand? So with my experience, I will tell you, do not include personal information such as religion and your age to your CV. Others may advise you to add it for 1 or 2 reasons, but to be on the safer side, I would encourage you, these informations are not so much vital for any HR or an employer to, so better you don't include it, and then let them employ you for your skills, and then after that all of these things can come up. That is my personal advice. All right, thank you.
Okay, we can proceed. We will get to the open forum session. If you have any question, you can pen them down, and it's time you would be given the opportunity to ask. Thank you very much.
All right. Okay, so the second thing I want to introduce to you is We Connect Consult. This is a company that started way back in 2016 as a sole proprietorship. It's actually started in Moscow, and over the years we've been sending students abroad for studies, be it their bachelor's, master's, PhD, and what have you. And we have partner universities all across Europe, in America, in Canada, and a whole lot of countries. Now, when we register this company as a limited liability, we are not just looking at the school educational system, but we have also gone further when it comes to job opportunities, as the opportunity has presented itself for some of the skilled and unskilled workers in Ghana, and not just even in Ghana, but in all the neighboring African countries. But for the sake of this presentation, I wouldn't go too much into it. I will just share some few opportunities that has come to us, or some of few opportunities that we do have. And if there's any question, also you may want to present it, and then we will look at it together. So the countries that specifically we are looking at, we have Ireland, we have Canada, we have Netherlands, we have Switzerland, we have India, we have and a whole lot as is being enlisted down there. Partner universities in all these countries are really top class universities that do accept students. The beautiful part of it is that they don't only concentrate on the extremely bright student, but it comes all the way to make sure that, irrespective of your academic level, you will be able to get the opportunity over there. Um, some of these universities also give out scholarships. Now, with the scholarships, it comes in three forms: the full scholarship that goes to extremely bright students. So this particular scholarship will cover for all your tuition, will cover for all your accommodation, and some universities do even provide, make arrangements for your flights from your home country to the university, and then back when you are done with your studies. And then that's the first part of it. The second part of it also give partial scholarships. This is it can be either 70% scholarship or 50% scholarship. Now this covers only for the tuition. Every depending on the faculty or what you want to study in that particular university, they have their pass mark. If you are able to pass that, then you will qualify for that particular scholarship. But if you are not, also there is a package for you. So with the 50% and the 70% scholarship, it is for the tuition, only for the tuition. So it covers all. If it's gonna be a master program, it covers for, if it is a 2-year master program or a year master program, it covers for all of that. And upon your upon completion of your education, a country, for example, like Ireland, they will give you a 1-year working visa that will also help you to work over there when you are done studying. Some of these universities also have affiliated companies that they allow their students to go there to work when they are done studying. A country, for example, like Canada right now, we have multiple schools that we are partnering with. Now, one particular school stands out, and this is actually because they have made it possible for all the applicants that comes in to not just come there to study, but they have modified their educational system in such a way that whilst you are studying, you are also working alongside with it. So, for example, our Canadian partners, as soon as the students get admitted in the university, they link them up to their affiliated companies, and then they come there, they study, and they work alongside with it. The third part that I want to also mention to you is that um, our partner university in Turkey, for example, every applicant, irrespective of your academic level, you will be able to get a scholarship. And this is actually because if the applicant goes through our company, we attach a letter to it in the application, and with that, it lands every applicant at least 50% scholarship in his or her program that he wants to study in. Now, at WeConnect Consult, we don't just help you get admission to your desired choice of school, but we also help you with your visa processing, your pre-departure counseling, your ticketing, and all of that. We make sure that we take care of it, and especially with the first-time travelers, when it comes to interviews at embassies, it's quite of a challenge for them. In such cases, we prep them throughout the whole thing, interview process, and they are able to achieve uh, their visas, to get their visas. So basically, these are some of the opportunities that we do have in our company. And also, as part of our collaboration with Rethink, we at We Connect Consult, we are giving out 25 slots scholarship for people. It can be here, those of you here, or it can be someone in this school. So when you want to apply for this scholarship, you can just use a short code Rethink, and then when it reaches our office, we'll be able to consider your application and then find you a very befitting slot. And these are the countries that are available. So if there is any one interested, with the short code, when you apply, just let us know. You can just call our office and then we will attend to you. And when you are done with your studies, now everybody wants to go outside and work. We have opportunities for that as well, especially for people who are already in the medical field, nurses, midwives, medical doctors. We have opportunities for that. There are our partners in Canada, to be precise, help nurses, midwives, medical assistants, doctors to go there. They find them a job over there. They write exams to get themselves licensed over there, and then after that they start working. All of these are included in our packages, and also you can take advantage of that. So I'll end here by saying thank you very much for the opportunity, and I will hope we will see each other very soon with these opportunities. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Victor. If you all travel, who will be left to cater for the Ghanaians? You all want to go to abroad to work. Who will be here when I need you at 37 Military Hospital? How many of you are interested in working outside Ghana? We are in trouble. We are in trouble. All right, so please, let's all give Mr. Victor a round of applause. Okay, second speaker is ready in his vibrant color. The color red is synonymous with my people, and I'm on my land. Do you have Ewe people here? Vegwetola Pama. Oredio. Okay, as we wait for Mr. Gershon to get mic'd up. You are all in the medical field. So when We Connect Consult came, they narrated the fact that they have packages that are specifically designed for your field to have the opportunity to not only study outside, but also work outside Ghana. If you look at these countries here, you realize there's one fundamental problem. Africa and Kasano, people don't travel here to live their best life. As much as this is good, the whole idea for traveling outside when it came for the medical field was for you to travel, learn the skill, come back home, and then build hospitals and clinics here to take care of your people. That was the idea. But the first batch that left, they are still the first batch. They are still there. And badges have been going and going. The only thing we get are pictures. So please, for the next generation of African leaders, the idea is to take up these opportunities, go out there because the systems are there, and learn. But when you are done, hopefully you come back with enough resources, be it capital or knowledge, to build this country in particular. I'll share a quick story, but I'm sure Mr. Gershon has been mic'd. So we will hear from Mr. Gershon from Haptel. Have you all downloaded the app? Okay, so I was told that there will be some form of giveaway. So quickly, I've downloaded the app. Quickly. So when the time comes, they said they will be sending money, crediting our term is as a wallet, right? So please, when the time comes, 0245 658993. First number. Thank you. Please, with a round of applause, let's welcome Mr. Gershon from Haptel.
Thank you. Pardon my voice. I seem to have caught something in my throat, so my voice is not the best today. I didn't see those who raised their hands when we asked who had the Haptel app. I don't know if I can see that again. How many of us have the app? The Haptel app. Oh, wow. And how many of us don't have it? Hey, some people are missing. Anyway, it's great to be here as a sponsor of this program and this event. Haptel believes in the youth. We believe in tertiary students. We believe in investing in the communities we operate in, and that is why we agreed to partner on this program. Today, I'm just going to take you briefly through Haptel. For those who don't know Haptel, we'll just speak about Haptel and what we are about and why we are here in Ho. So the name Haptel sounds some people think it's a foreign company, but that is not the case. Haptel is a fully Ghanaian-owned company, 100%. All the shareholders of Haptel went to school in Ghana, went to university in Ghana, primary school in Ghana, studied in Ghana, and founded this company in the year 2005. The name of the business was SMSGH back then. Through a series of rebranding in 2017, we are now known as Haptel, as you all know. Haptel has done various businesses, so we were called SMSGH. We provided value-added services for a lot of the banks in the country. So transactional alerts, if you go out to maybe do a transaction at your ATM, you get a message from Haptel or from your bank saying that this debit has occurred. So that is what Haptel has been doing. Over the years, we've gone ahead to get a license from the Bank of Ghana. So Haptel is currently an ESP, so Enhanced Payment Service Provider. So Haptel is able to process mobile money transactions, we're able to process bank card transactions, and that is what we do with our app and our various partners. Like I mentioned, Haptel has been in existence for some 17, 18 years. We obviously started in Accra. Hello. Okay. Sorry. Is this better? Okay. So I'll continue. So like I mentioned, Haptel has been in existence since 2005. We've done various businesses. We're currently in Uhu with operations on quick commerce with operations on delivering food, delivering groceries, with operations also on services. So if you want to